Hello everyone, good evening. I am Ayushi Srivastav, PGDM student of NMIMS Indore, and I welcome you here at this session. Hope you all are staying safe and healthy at your home. And today, just before we start with our session, a gentle reminder to you all that please complete your NMIMS application form before your Nmat exam date in order to be eligible to apply for NMIMS. So it's very important, do not forget it. And today, as a speaker, we have Dr. Prachi Gharpure. She is a director at NMIMS Indore, and she has over 3 decades of experience in the teaching and academic administration, and has also won numerous accolades and awards to her credit. Recent one being Higher Education Forum Award for contribution to information technology. Being a member of Syllabus Committee and Staff Selection Committee of Maharashtra State, also being the convener of several Mumbai University committees. She is also a chairman of BOS Computer at Mumbai University. So very warm welcome, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you here on the platform. I hope you are great. Definitely. So ma'am, today our audience are all the MBA aspirants who have a lot of questions in their mind regarding the MBA and their B-school selection. And also they're quite inquisitive about knowing what is the new normal for an MBA grad in this post-pandemic and during pandemic season. So very briefly, I'll go through the agenda of today's session and then we'll begin. We have some of the common queries from aspirants regarding the MBA and selection of a particular B school. So we'll start by addressing them, and we'll also take some of the queries from the audience post the Q&A. Then I'll also brief you about how to get into NMIMS, like what is the whole selection process, and then some further more details. So ma'am, we all have witnessed that times have been very uncertain in the recent past, and still we are kind of adapting to the new normal. Ma'am, one of the things I think everybody would agree and will be in a dilemma right now, especially the MBA aspirants, that how the market is going to perceive the MBA graduates post this pandemic, what will be their requirements, and specifically how NMIMS Indore is working and is cultivating the students to be future ready.
So yes, the pandemic has been tough on all of us, and so on industry, all sectors of industries. Hiring, the normal is now new, which means that the attributes, the essentials that the industry is going to look at are slightly much more refined than what they used to look from an MBA grad. To my mind, an MBA grad was always perceived to be a magic problem solver. Like you join any sector and you do wonders in that sector. May it be marketing, may it be finance, may it be HR. You are expected to make that sector flourishing is what was always an expectation. In the new normal, the expectations have in fact escalated. And to my mind, what's going to be the major component that each of these recruiters or each of the industry sector would now be looking from MBA is how agile you are in solving a problem. So why I'm emphasizing on agility, on problem solving ability. See what happened, the sudden lockdown was enforced on almost entire world. We all were confined to our home. Did it stop us from continuing our work? Specifically, if I have to talk from NMIMS perspective, did it stop all of us from working? No. We quickly got through, quickly put processes in place, turned everything to online, did our classes online as usual, had the examination, declared the results, started the new academic year. So it was the agility which allowed in decision making, in solving the problem at hand, which allowed us to stand on our feet back. Every industry would want to do that now. That should a situation come when there is a huge roadblock, how do we overcome that? Are we going to stop at that point and do nothing about it and stagnate for God knows how many weeks, or we are going to bootstrap ourselves and cross that hurdle? So it is this quality which is going to be prime important, how agile you are. In order that you gain that agility, your basics have to be very, very strong. If you are a marketing student, your analysis about what's happening in the market, your analysis about what works and what did happen yesterday, hence it worked today, all that has to be very, very strong. And that's what, to my mind, most of the recruiters are going to definitely look at when they see an MBA graduate.
Definitely, ma'am. So, ma'am, how at NMIMS Indore we are cultivating students to be future ready? Like, what are the practices that we're following?
So we always had best practices being implemented, but there are certain things which have been added post pandemic, and the reason being precisely this, that we want our students to think through. So the pedagogy that NMIMS Indore specifically is implementing is this year's induction. If I have to give an example, this year's induction had one big section on how to study using this, how to learn using a case method. So using what worked in the past and which solution to adopt in what situation, or which solution to be thought in which situation, is best learned through case method. So case method is one of the techniques that we are equipping our students to learn with. Very, very actively being followed almost in all the curriculum courses that we teach. The next pedagogy that has been very actively used is what happens when you are in college. It's a clinical scenario that you are in, right? So examples are clinical. Your textbooks give you a certain kind of example, but what is important is that you work with data, and you see what happens when a certain data set changes from A to B or from B to C. So a very, very important tool that we use in multiple courses in NMIMS, all over across NMIMS, definitely in NMIMS Indore, is teaching through simulations. So we have tools, we have software which allow you to simulate scenarios, which allow you to simulate strategies and see what happens if you implement that scenario or if you implement a particular strategy. So yes, simulation is another pedagogy that is very, very actively being followed. Looking at real data, rather than, as I said, rather than an example or a what we should call a prototype data, we are now making a student to look at real data. We make them go to the company's reports, through the company's website, collect the data on the fly, use the tools which allow you to collect these kind of real-time data, and then do your analysis and form a strategy in order to solve a problem. So that's yet another pedagogy we are very, very actively using. The fourth tool that we will have to equip, or we are equipping with our to our student, is ability to express, the power of expression. And to my mind, it is equally important to be able to solve a problem, and as important to be able to communicate the solution so that it gets implemented, or it gets, because as an MBA you are going to be a strategy maker, or you are going to be a solution designer, but there are going to be implementers down the line. And how well you communicate a team will depend upon how successful your implementation of your strategy or your solution happens. So to my mind, the power of expression is equally important. So yes, these soft skills that we as we call them, they are the ones we are equipping with multiple ways and means, not only through classroom teaching, but through activities that the student design and implement for themselves. So these are some thought throughs and some pedagogies that we are very, very actively using in order to bootstrap our student for this new normal.
Definitely, ma'am. I agree to this. Like being a student, I've experienced this a lot in my studies. That first of all, when I talk about particularly MBA, I would say apart from the conceptual exposure that we get towards industries, a lot of behavioral development happens with MBA. Like I've been like we're cultivating a habit of being adaptive. As you said, we are like adapting to the new normal, and we have learned this through. So definitely, I cultivated this ability to be adaptive, and of course, we become more inclusive towards diversity and the diverse situations that we get on our platter. And as you said, that the simulation practices we follow and the faculties that follow the simulation practices, I find it completely very important because I've learned a lot from that, how we actually perform a business scenario, like how we actually work on ground and what are the strategies and how interchangeable and interdependent are the strategies, not only being finance or marketing or HR. Everything just goes hand in hand. And this is what we learn through simulation a lot. And then expression, of
That's
course, is very important. So yeah, I've
so. In
learned.
fact, one more thing I would like to add uh, uh, that is a must in new normal. What I have observed, pardon me for this, I am basically an engineer and particularly in management programs, that we all treat it like a postgraduate program, and hence the very the emphasis is on specialization. That, oh, I'm going to learn marketing and that's all I'm going to learn. Oh, I'm going to learn finance and that's all I'm going to learn. To my mind, this is not a new normal anymore. We cannot compartmentalize ourselves anymore. All companies are going to, yes, require a master in some sector, but they also are going to want a little bit jack of all kind of a person. This thought process that I am not going to be so compartmentalized and so stringent, which will not allow me the required agility that everybody looking at or everybody would be looking at. Why? Because uh, I would simply throw my hands up. Oh, this problem seems to be of finance. Or there is, I don't have the domain. I don't have that understanding at all. No. So in the new normal, this has to simply go. I mean, I'm very emphasizing this fact that uh, we can't afford to be so very vertical centric anymore, right? Finance vertical, marketing vertical, HR. You have to be a lot. I mean, you have to raise yourself up horizontally sufficiently before you say, now I'm going to concentrate on verticals. So that's one which I find is going to be a must.
Yes, definitely. And dynamic nature and learning is very important. So, MBA and the new normal requires that. We need to have a lot of information and lot of knowledge application towards all the categories that we study and are there. So, now moving on to the next question. Meanwhile, I would also encourage the audience to type in their questions if they may have any. We're going to take them up towards the later of the session. So, ma'am, moving on to the next, I'm sure everybody would like to know that how is the student campus life at NMIMS Indore? Also, along with the academic rigor that we have, how the student, what is the student exposure towards the corporates and how it is encouraged by our faculties and management?
Pre-pandemic, we are basically a very fresh organization. If I say 2 batches have passed out, and hence one good thing about being in a fresh environment is it is you who set the culture. So the culture becomes what you want it to be, how rigorous you want it to be, how happy or how inclusive you want it to be. And to that mind, I'm very happy to say that we get students from pan India. So it's not that NMIMS Indore campus is in Indore, so students are uh, there are students from Indore, but majority students are pan India, all across from south, north, central parts of India, everywhere. And hence, the culture is very inclusive. And students have a life, in fact, a lot of life, besides their classroom studies that they do. The student learning centers and student clubs are very active. active at Indore campus, both curricular and co-curricular and extracurricular. In both these fields, we have very, very strong activities which happen. If I have to talk about co-curricular first, then we have clubs which are very marketing centric, which organize fun events, but also at the same time which allow them to learn and become competitive that today's world requires, which are marketing centric. We have finance club, which not only call people who are renowned in that sector as expert speakers or as panel members, but they also organize gaming events which allow students to learn through gaming events and be competitive at the same time. As far as, so we have a very vibrant HR club. So they look at the social aspect of HR very actively during their activities. The extracurricular clubs are, so we have a fantastic literary club. We have a very good art clubs. I'll give an example. Last year, there were a lot of artists and they wanted something to be showcased which will remain for many, many days as an exhibit for anybody who walks in the campus. What should we do? So we have long corridors in the building, and we simply cleared one entire wall of one of the corridors. So we created a white backdrop on that, and that entire wall was being painted for whole 2 or 3 weeks by students. So there were conceptual drawings, there were motifs, there were some fun suggestions, and everything that one can think of as an expression of artist. And that wall remained vibrant with us for the entire last semester. So these are the kind of activities. We have a very fresh new sports ground being made at Indore campus. So hopefully when the new batch comes back to the campus, we will have a lush green sports ground to play with, and outdoor sports and indoor sports are being played. So there is badminton, there is of course everybody's liking pool tables, table tennis, a very, very vibrant music room. So we have entire band thing on the campus. So these are the extracurricular. The cultural club is very active. So we have singers, we have fantastic dancers on the campus. Our street drama team is very, very well rated in competition circuits. So the life on campus is quite vibrant. Indore is that way, a very, very vibrant city, and life is generally very, very happy kind. So campus is the same.
Yes, ma'am, I can surely agree with this because as a part of a finance lab, as you mentioned, learning center, we have witnessed a lot of industrial knowledge that have an industrial interaction. I remember we were working on trading platforms and playing games, and we've also organized some pan-India competitions. So the competition and the attendance to those particular competitions has been phenomenal, and we have received such a great response all across India. So I can definitely agree to your point that how we are developing over our co-curricular activities. And when it comes to Indore, definitely it is such a vibrant city, and I remember we were taken to the tour for the city, especially to the food streets, to know more about culture. Yeah, definitely. So that was very vibrant and very important for all of us as coming from across India and knowing Indore, first of all. The next question, I think it's the most awaited from the guests, from the audience, that what are your views regarding the present and the prospective job market in India specifically and across globe, and also how is the placement scenario at NMIMS Indore?
I will not deny the fact that job market is tough this year. The reason is being obvious. Doesn't mean that people are not being hired. People are still being hired. Competition will be slightly more because companies are becoming choosy in whom they hire. So previously, if 80 or 100 are being interviewed and they would hire maybe 20, probably they would hire 12 or something like that. So numbers, yes, would be a matter of concern. But I slow down but not stoppage. That is what is my take. In Indore, in and around Indore, we have, so Indore is a hub of small and medium manufacturing sector. And that's where this sense comes from, that they have started hiring again, which means that production is picking up. If production picks up, then sales picks up, then marketing gets hired, HR gets hired. So this is, so yes, there is definitely a hope. If I come to the second part of the question, who will hire this year, or what would we see as the hiring scenario? My general understanding from what we read as news analysis is, pharma will definitely hire, e-commerce will definitely hire, edutechs will definitely hire. These are the sectors. IT will definitely hire. These are the sectors which have not slowed down. In fact, which got picked up due to the change in the new normal. Pharmas had to bootstrap themselves. Edutech suddenly saw a huge market, or do see a huge market in front of them. E-commerce became a necessity rather than a nice to have things around rather than going to shop. So yes, these sectors are guaranteed good to hire. And that is so what does it mean to us? So it means that now whosoever are going to join this particular MBA program, we need to look at our course structure. We need to look at our problem solving ability, particularly looking by doing some tiny life projects in these sectors, by taking a problem set from these industry and solving them in our classroom scenario, which will give us a first-hand answer during the larger interview scenarios that we are going to face from these sectors. So that's what is my analysis.
Definitely, ma'am. And when you said about the MSMEs and how we are at Indore looking through them, so I would also like to tell audience that our Indore campus is also motivating students to become entrepreneurs and get into that side as well. So we definitely cultivate a habit at Indore that it's not only that you need to be a job seeker, but also be a job giver and be that much ready in that particular area and find out new opportunities. Ma'am, this is one thing that I've learned in MBA, that definitely make the most of the most out of the opportunities if you have, and if you do not see them, make them for yourself. That's how we are cultivating ourselves. So definitely I agree to this point that the market is little stressed and a little bit haywire going on, but there's no stress at all when it comes to your
these sectors, I am reasonably certain, are not going to stop hiring, because they need to improve their capacity at any cost. So they would be hiring. But as I said, we have to make ourselves ready for them. That is going to be one mandate that all the MBA aspirants must have. That it's not going to be that I am good is good enough for me to get hired. I am good for you. So we have to actually target, it's called target practice, that kind of a attitude we will have to have, that I am not only good, I am definitely good, but I am good for you. If you are pharma, I'm good for you. If you are edutech, I'm good for you. And we have to prove it by doing those kind of, as I said, projects, those kind of assignments, those kind of special studies, and ensure that we are up and about for them to be hired. So that's going to be. In fact, when you said about entrepreneurship, I'm very happy to inform one of our team, with one of the professors from campus, has gone fairly ahead. So IIM Indore arranges a competition every year to pick up entrepreneurs, the absolutely from scratch startup, only at idea level. They pick up, they nurture, they also fund to some extent. And one of our team has gone ahead. It's a social entrepreneur idea that they are projecting, and we are of course crossing our fingers that things will move ahead for that team.
Definitely. And when you said about the social entrepreneurship and the internships that we need to do in certain areas that are booming, I'm also reminded of that we do a VCare internship. NMIMS is extremely proud to inform all the audience that we perform a whole weekend internship, that is a social internship we do with the NGOs, and it is very much enriching for the student. The experience is very enriching. Like I did it for there's IMC in Indore, waste management in Indore Municipal Corporation, and as you know, Indore is again the clean city of India. So it was an enriching experience to know how management skills are being absorbed there as a booming industry, the waste management industry. So yes, we are definitely moving towards that edge. And towards the last of the question, I would like you to throw some light on the rich and the diversified experience of the faculties that we have at NMIMS Indore.
The best thing that happened when the new campus was established was that we really have very, very diverse faculty available. Faculty with in the knowledge area of HR, in the knowledge area of business strategy, in the knowledge area of finance, in the knowledge area of the quantitative techniques or analytics, in the knowledge area of IT, and that, and all of them with PhD as their qualification, and that helps because it is the experience of the faculty. They all had a previous teaching experience in MBA institutes. They all had previous very strong publishing history with them. So the research mindset that is so essential for the faculty to have. Few of them also had a very strong consulting experience with them, and that makes the faculty set that we have at Indore very, very rich. The interaction of faculty with students. So we don't have, thankfully, we don't have very, very old faculty. In fact, I'm old. But so the level of interaction that faculty has with these young students is fantastic because they relate with the student, and hence that kind of interaction. Yes, a very strong faculty we have, and we also have a very good pool of a certain number of visiting faculty, because the way NMIMS curriculum goes, you in your second year, one would be choosing a lot of electives, and it is at this stage we expect that we have best of the industry expert from corporate coming as at least sharing a part of the coursework with us, which brings that kind of richness in the classroom, which brings the corporate ethics, corporate depth, everything in the classroom. So we have, in fact, it's a fantastic policy at NMIMS, especially for the management school, is every faculty is expected to connect to an industry expert in that particular area. And up to 20% of the curriculum, we can request the expert faculty from corporate to share with the classroom, to the class or to the course teacher, which brings a fantastic combination of academic rigor with the corporate first-hand knowledge to the classroom.
Definitely, ma'am. And as a student, I would like to share the experience that, especially in this pandemic, our faculties are so well experienced and they're so adaptive that they're not leaving a single stone unturned when it comes to our experience of providing us the best of our curriculum. So they are making the most of the efforts, and I love that thing about our faculties. Also, ma'am, I've realized that in NMIMS Indore specifically, of course, at NMIMS across all the campuses, and at Indore, I have experienced that the management, the administration, and the students, faculties and the students, they all work as a team, as one team towards enhancing the learning experience of students and to enhancing the overall experience of all the people associated with the campus. So I think the teamwork that we do is kind of our strength at the campus, and we're working towards that as well. Yes, ma'am.
And that is one quality that is going to be an absolute mandatory quality in all the MBA graduates, that you are able to work as a team. So none of you are going to work in isolation. I mean, okay, we are currently isolated at our individual homes, but then that's not is going to be a long term. Even if it is virtually, you are going to be always, I mean, every MBA works with a team. and the ability to nurture, cultivate, B, nurture, and B, strengthen this team would be a fabulous quality to become the path leader. And that's what we aim for. So everybody coming to NMIMS and NMIMS Indore should be a leader in their sector. That should be our goal. So yes, to that
Yes, ma'am.
extent, teamwork.
Yes. And like if I highlight the teamwork that we are doing, so I can say the pandemic has not been a roadblock for us, because to adapt to the new normal, we are not only we're not only sequestering ourselves to only adapt to the new normal, but also to enhance at every step. Like we're engaging in expert sessions almost on a daily basis, and then we're having competitions and finding all the new ways how we can do teamwork and do group projects, which is, I guess, very important for all the MBA grads to know and to be inclusive of the diversity that we have in our batch and in our campus. So that's the good thing about MBA and NMIMS Indore. So ma'am, now I think we can take up the questions from the audience. So I'll take up the questions. So ma'am, there's one question from Abhinav, that why are students from BSc, IT or CS not eligible for pursuing MBA in Business Analytics at NMIMS? So it's a question related to application for NMIMS.
I mean, that's the best to the admission team, but I will tell you the logical reason behind it. Kind of mathematical rigor that is required for this particular program. Should you not have sufficient mathematics papers as part of your undergrad, it is going to be very, very difficult to cope up completing analytics study. And that would be, I mean, if I have to give you, as I said, logical reason, that would be the reason why the eligibility criteria is what it is.
Yes, ma'am. So I hope, Abhinav, you got your answer. So the next question is, which course is best in respective campuses and NMIMS University, and why should we pursue? And he also wants to know about the scope of any particular course. I guess the question is not that much descriptive. Basically, they want to know about the course, the programs that we have at our campus, especially when it comes to Mumbai
Indore,
branch.
so I will talk about Indore campus, the programs that we have at Indore campus. So besides the business school, which we have at Indore campus, which runs currently a single MBA program, which is a general management MBA program, we also have a engineering school, which runs a BTech program in computer science and business systems, and an MBA Tech program, which is a flagship NMIMS program, which is a 5-year integrated BTech plus MBA program. And that is available at Indore campus with specialization in computer science. Then we have School of Law, which runs again two programs rather, BA LLB and BBA LLB, which are 5-year law degree. School of Commerce runs again two programs, BCom Honors, BBA. So as far as NMIMS is concerned, there is a even larger bouquet of programs available across the campus in NMIMS, may it be Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Shirpur, Indore, Hyderabad, Bangalore. But I would be specifically answering with respect to Indore. Okay. Which courses are good, you are asking? So all courses are good. So all courses are, every program is good. All programs have their values, very, very high value. Each of them have their value in your learning career. Which should you choose depends upon if you have any goals, then which goals you have set. If you do not have any goal, then you have to sit back, think, at least find out what is your liking, and then go in for that particular program.
Yes, definitely, ma'am. So there's one more question from Yash, that is there any direct admission criteria in NMIMS Indore? Any of the programs, and for SBM specifically?
No. For SBM, no. So you have to appear for their entrance exam, and all the admissions specifically to MBA program will exclusively happen only through their entrance exam. So be prepared to give that entrance exam. Don't miss any deadlines.
Yes, and Yash and everybody, I'll also brief you a little bit how to get into NMIMS and the examination per se. Also, there's one question that, ma'am, there's a generic question that everyone talk about skills required to work in all the other industries, but what does it take for a person other than technical skills to work in the educational industry specifically? Ma'am, shall I repeat?
Education industry, when you say, yeah, so no, I'll try and answer that. So education industry, I'll tell you, I will divide it into multiple, again, core sectors. So education, one sector is when you come into academics, okay, when you become a professor. What skill sets are required? There are different skill sets. I'll slightly talk about it later. But education sector per se has lot more other skill sets that you can develop and still work in education sector. One of the major what do you say, job roles that are coming and that are becoming extremely common in what economy, in which you work at your own pace and you are not holding one single job. So that career is that of content developer. So should you be a content writer or a content developer, you gig economy. I'm sorry, I was not getting the word right. So should you be working as a participant in that so-called gig economy, you could be a content writer in education sector. Huge training, education and training is a huge industry, right from the primary school till corporate training. So everywhere you are required to have content. So content development is one skill that you can develop. Academic, yes, as I said, you can become a professor or a faculty somewhere. But then for that, you should have a very highly research mindset, because you would need to go in depth into a particular subject area in order to master that and deliver it very generically in a classroom. Another avenue or skill set in education sector these days could be marrying education sector with IT, because a lot of education is happening now through IT. And should you have those IT skills, you again have job prospects in education sector.
Definitely. And like if you have cross diverse skills, so definitely we can mix and match our skills and perform at different sectors and all together bring a new sector. It's all upon the opportunities that we create. So
Right.
also the question related to, if NMIMS Indore have the same syllabus as NMIMS Mumbai has with respect to MBA?
With respect to MBA, syllabus, broadly speaking, it is the same. But what is common with Indore is, so NMIMS Indore has their management program in off campuses at Hyderabad, at Bangalore, at Navi Mumbai, and at Indore. These are the 4 campuses where the identical curriculum is being run. So the course structure is identical, the academic calendar is identical, the examination, I mean, barring in pandemic, wherein the examination are slightly being taken in a different fashion, but otherwise the examinations are common. So all the off-campus SBMs have one common curriculum and one common program which has been run as NMIMS program.
Yes, ma'am. So there's one more generic question by the audience that again related to placements, that does freshers place well or the students having an experience, work ex in a particular industry?
It's a common knowledge that the preference is always to students with experience. A fresher has to be extremely, what I say, active, somewhat aggressively active, and very, very thorough in his or her studies in order to get a precedence over a fresher. Because one cannot boast of what would I do in a situation, because you have never faced that. You have been only a student. And that's where an experienced MBA candidate scores over you as a fresher. But should you be, as I said, very a person who is a problem solver inherently and very, very good at your conceptual understanding of the coursework that you have been doing, you could definitely be at par.
Definitely. And ma'am, they like, I would say there's a whole pros and cons for both the aspects. If you're a fresher, we have a lot of upper hand of gaining and imbibing new prospects and thinking in a new particular, in a very innovative manner. And at the
Yeah,
same
you
time,
are a raw sponge, so
yes,
absorbing is easy.
yes,
You don't come
definitely.
with a bias.
Yes, there are no barriers in the mind for in imbibing new ways of towards learning and things. So this is the whole pro.
Yeah, am I audible? I
And
think I got
meanwhile,
desync. Yeah, now it's okay.
okay, so yeah, I was saying the whole pros and cons for WorkX and being a fresher. One more question in continuation by Abhinav only, that the BSc students are eligible for dual degree programs of MBA in data science at NMIMS plus MS in business analytics at Purdue University, but not for MBA in business analytics at NMIMS. It doesn't seem fitting logical. Like, just a question in the continuation. I don't. So, ma'am, if you
As I said, I think the admission team would be better equipped at Mumbai to answer this question. So I would like to pass it.
So Abhinav, you can definitely reach out to the admission department. You have all the information mentioned over the website, that is www.nmims.org. Go to the support section and you'll have the all important email IDs through which you can ask your queries. One question is that I'm a final year BBA LLB student from Assam and I'm considering an MBA soon after my graduation. What course of action do you suggest considering my current academic background?
If you are interested in NMIMS MBA program, then my suggestion would be very, very carefully go through the examination curriculum that they put out every year. It's based generally largely on the generic undergraduate curriculum, but still my suggestion would be to go through very carefully what curriculum they put out for the entrance exam and prepare yourself for that entrance exam, because that's going to be the only entry criteria in order to start your MBA program at one of the campuses of NMI.
Definitely.
Giving entrance exam would be the road that you will have to follow.
Yes, definitely. I hope the question was addressed. And like, I would encourage, if you have more questions regarding NMIMS Indore, so you have an opportunity to directly know from the right source, you can please write us on the chat box, in the chat box. Is NMIMS Indore located in the main city? No, it is. I would like to answer this question. It is not located in the main city. It's towards the outer side. However, it is well connected. You have all the facilities. Also, we have the convenience facility. You don't have to take care any worry regarding where you have to study or where you have to stay. Also, it is a residential program, so you can also stay at the hostel that has been provided by the NMIMS. Very well connected to the main city as well. So, ma'am, we have, I guess, post this, we don't have any query. If we will have, I'll address. I'll ask you up. Moving on to the next section, I would like to give little bit details about the Nmat examination and how you have to proceed. So there was one of the question as well. Regarding the Nmat score. So I would say that again, I would re-emphasize that please do fill your NMIMS application form before the Nmat exam date. Otherwise, you won't be eligible to get admission into NMIMS. And then once you give your exam, your Nmat exam, you are allowed to take 3 retakes. One main exam and 2 retakes in the given period and the deadlines. However, the whole of the information is also mentioned over the website. You can go and check the details and the fees, everything, fee structure and everything. So once you have that score, you'll be shortlisted on the basis of the cutoff marks and cutoff list for each campus, and then your Nmat score. Post that, you have to, it's a 2-step process. You have to go through case discussion and personal interview. There, after getting shortlisted from all the 3 rounds and you score cumulatively in your NMAT exam, then in your case discussion and your personal interview, you will be allotted the campus. So on the basis of the whole cumulative scores. So this is a whole process how you can get into NMIMS, and then definitely hard work and determination are the keys to success. So this is how it is. You can also go to the NMIMS website, www.nmims.org.com, and there we have full details of how to get into NMIMS. You can also write to us in the support section. You have all the required details. Also, they are mentioned in the chat box. And when it comes to Indore campus in particular, if you want to have more visual experience that how we perform at Indore and what are the activities, what kind of exposure we get, so do visit our website, that is www.nmimisindore.org. You'll have complete details about the programs we are having at the campus and how the campus life is. Also, do check out the social media handles. We are present over LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So you'll have more visual experience of all the activities, and you'll get more clarity of why you should choose NMIMS and NMIMS Indore in particular. The fee structure of 2021 and 23 batch is also mentioned over the website. I'll suggest that the websites are the right source for you to get most of the information. And it is very important when you are a student and an aspirant that you get the information from the right sources. So do check the websites thoroughly, go through them, go for the preferences while filling your NMIMS application form. It is very important about while you are filling the preferences of the campus and the programs therein. So be careful while filling it. Also, that I think we are over with the questions. Any Indore specific questions? There are no Indore specific questions. So ma'am, any message do you want to give to our audience?
So one thing that you all must do is, it's very, very good that you have decided that as your next education path, right? You all must be either working or either doing your final year undergraduate. And you have decided that you would be now taking up management as your postgraduate program. Please look at that program with a crystal clear goal. Understand what a management graduate will mean to an industry, because a management program ultimately would be either so that you can start a successful enterprise of your own, or you become a very, very successful leader in some good organization. So for both these, you have to be absolutely crystal clear while you are pursuing your MBA. It is not just passing those 6 trimester and every trimester 5 courses and X number of projects. No, each and every element that has been put as part of MBA program has been very consciously put there. And as a postgraduate student, you should equally consciously look at why some element is there during the program and accept that and go to that element in the right. Success is yours, believe me. If you look at your education with the correct eyes and take it in the correct spirit, there is nothing that can stop you from definitely good grades. I mean, there is no doubt about it, but a larger goal, which is a great success, a great satisfaction in doing a good career as managers. So please look at your education as a post-graduation education. That is one education that you have opted for. Many times you have no choice that you have to do up to 12th grade. You have no choice many times for your undergrad branch that you have taken. But this you opt by choice. And hence, look at it with very clear goal for the entire 2 years of period. And I guarantee success would be yours. And we would be proud of you as NMIMS successful leaders, and in years to come would proudly announce to the world, look, they were with us. Look, these are our alumnus. So that's my message to you all. Thank you.
Definitely. Ma'am, there are still questions, 2 or 3. One of the question is that is NMIMS Indore providing MBA or PGDM degree? So if you
MBA.
can.
Now
Yes.
it is from this year, from this batch, MBA. So
Yes.
we are giving a 2-year degree MBA.
Yes, as per the guidelines also from this year onwards, you'll be getting an MBA degree. It's for all the B schools, and NMIMS also will provide you MBA degree as well. Then there's one question: if we get selected from Indore campus, then we come. Okay, then can we come there and give the interview, or we have to go to the NMIMS main branch in Mumbai?
No, I think the entire admission process happens at Mumbai.
Yes.
It doesn't happen at Indore as on date. But with the pandemic next year, should they distribute it? We do not know as on date. But yes, it happens in Mumbai.
Yes, ma'am. Things have changed a little bit towards the criteria and the whole process. So again, I would say, please go through the whole website. You have all the information there, and it's the best source. You can get the most information. There's question that, do you have marketing MBA course? So ma'am, if you can highlight the course.
So at Indore, the program MBA is a general management program, but we have set of electives. So in your second year, so first year is almost all courses. You have to study almost all of them, but in second year we have a set of electives. And should you think that you would like to specialize in marketing, you need to judiciously select those electives, and hence you have actually multiple courses as part of your MBA credit structure towards marketing that you would have taken. You would have done your projects, you would have done your live projects towards marketing. You would be doing more larger number of assignments which are market centric, and hence you would be able to tell the recruiters that you have a specialization. But if you want to ask whether your degree will be called MBA marketing, no, not really. But your transcript would show that you have a specialization in marketing because of the number of courses that you would have taken.
Yes. So I would say that at NMIMS, you are provided with complete flexibility of choosing your own bucket list. So you can go with your preferences, what kind of subjects and what kind of knowledge you would like to have. And that's how you can shape your whole bucket. So you can also specialize, like if you take major subjects, as told by ma'am, if you take major subjects regarding finance or marketing, then you'll kind of have a specialization in your knowledge, but there's no any such specialization provided at NMIMS. Also, you have the whole flexibility to choose your bucket list. Then there's a question that what is the scoring criteria for Nmat 2020? I would say that the scoring criteria for NMAT examination will be like present over the website. However, we have different cutoff list for each campus. So once you give your exam and once the whole term is finished, like I guess the ending date is 20th of December or November, like I'm not sure about it, please go through the website. So after the completion of the whole written examination process, the cutoff list will be announced, and through that you can see that where you have been shortlisted. That's the whole process that you get. So there's one more question, that can we expect MBA law to come up at your Indore campus anytime soon? MBA law.
In times to come, answer could be always yes. But at least if you are asking about next academic year, no, immediately next academic year, we wouldn't have MBA in law at Indore campus. But in times to come,
definitely, ma'am. So, okay, there was one question. They wanted to know that if you can give them some tips regarding NMAT examination, like how to crack it.
You are the best. You have cracked it.
Yes, ma'am. I would say that it's a speed-based exam.
I have never given.
Okay, I would say that it's a speed-based exam, so be very much careful regarding completion of your questions. There's no negative marking as such, so that's a safer side. And then be thorough with the English part, the quantitative and the reasoning part. the bars are not that high or advanced, but definitely it requires a lot of speed while cracking it. So that speed is the key, and accuracy as well. Though there is no negative marking, but when it comes to speed, we kind of fall in the trap of being fumbling with the questions. We try to skip them, or we don't attempt them properly with a lot of accuracy. So do not fall in that trap. Give your complete mind and do divide the sections. Like while giving the exam, you know the number of questions that have to come in the Nmat examination. So divide the time, the stipulated time, and try to complete it as much as you can in the given time. So there's no any particular key. You know your strengths, work upon your strengths, play through your strengths, and try to attempt most of the questions. That's the only key I can give for the Nmat examination. I think we are done with the queries now, and I hope there are no more queries before we can call it a day. They are not. There are no such queries. And if you have any queries in future, do write to us. We'll be more than happy while addressing your queries. It's very important for you to know the information from the right source. We are the right source. Ask through us. We are present over all the social media channels. It is very easy to contact us. Also, you can mail us, write us whenever you want. Then, as a student, I would say MBA is definitely a path-breaking journey. It's a very enriching experience, and when you have made your mind to take this particular career up, do it with a lot of determination and grit. It's very important. So there's a question, can we visit the campus? Yes, you can visit the campus and see. Also this year we had, when the new students were coming, new batch were coming, we had a session where you can come and visit the campus specifically on a particular day. So we kept that meet. So hopefully we will keep it the next year as well. I hope the pandemic gets kind of treated by that time.
In small groups, 1 or 2, even now, anybody want to visit, they are welcome. We are there.
Yes, definitely. You can.
But not large group, not too many people. In small numbers, you are welcome to visit even today.
Yeah, you can reach the campus if it's feasible for you. You can see the infrastructure. It's mesmerizing. You would love it. And then you can also see the facilities and meet the faculties if you can, if they are present at the campus. We have a lot of welcoming possibilities over there. So definitely, if it's feasible, do reach the campus. It's very easy even to locate the whole address and all, so you won't find any difficulty. I hope to see you all there at the campus once you are through with your Nmat examination. I wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. Now, as we don't have any more queries, we'll call it a day. Do stay healthy at home and practice as much as you can. Ma'am, you also take care. It's a very sensitive time going on. Please do take care.
All of you, please take care and all the best. And Ayushi, thank you very much. You were wonderful. And all the aspirants, I wish them all the success and stay safe. Thank you.
Yes, stay safe, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.